What's good with the fight fans, man? It's Kijana back with another fight card prediction this week. UFC on ESPN 29, Cannonier versus Gastelum. Should be a decent card. There's a few fights that I'm looking forward to on the card. For the most part, if I had to rate it on a scale 1 to 10, it's probably going to be like a 6 or 7. There's a lot of people on the card that are kind of on their way out, in my own opinion, or maybe they shouldn't be in the UFC. The main fight that I'm looking forward to, though, is the Alexander Pentojo versus Brandon Royvo, which is on the main event. And I'm going to jump straight into the main event fight predictions for this video. Pentojo versus Royvo, rank number 3 versus rank number 6. The Cannibal versus Raw Dog. I'm rocking with Brandon Royvo on this one. A lot of people are going to be picking Pentojo. I know that. Pentojo's a fucking dog. He's super, super tough, super durable. He's got 8 KO wins, 8 submission victories, and 7 decision wins. He's only lost by decision 5 times, and he's never been KO'd or submitted or anything like that. So he's only lost by decision, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, I mean, it's just really tough to pick against Pentojo, but I'm gonna pick Brandon Royvo in this one. I think he gets it done. I think he's the new dog on the yard. And I think he can be the first person to stop Pentojo, honestly. It'll be a very interesting matchup. Royvo's 12-5. Pentojo has a lot more fight experience, and he's super, like I said, he's super durable, super tough. And he walks all of his opponents down. The only thing I'm worried about is Pentojo probably getting clipped with something. He does take a lot of punishment in his fights. But he walks people down, man. They don't call him the Cannibal for no reason. Brandon Royvo, he tends to have his hands down at times. He does get clipped with a few shots. He's super explosive, super wiry. He's kind of bouncy all over the place. You don't really know what he's going to throw at you. He's got 8 submission victories, 3 KO wins, 1 KO/TKO loss, which is last fight to Brandon Moreno. It wasn't really a TKO. It was just his shoulder popped out and he couldn't really do much about it. So, yeah, I mean, and then the Kai Kara fronts before that fight, that fight before that one was fucking crazy. Tim Elliott fight he should have finished him earlier, honestly. I think Tim Elliott was actually hanging in there, which was surprising. Yeah, man, I mean, he lost at Casey Kenny. You know what? I'm taking this pick back. I'm gonna rock with Pentojo on this one. Something's telling me to pick Pentojo, so I'm gonna rock with him. The fan in me is telling me to pick Brandon Royvo, even though I am fans of both of these guys. They're both fucking really, really good fighters for the division. But I don't know, man. I see Pentojo probably getting it done, man. He's had a lot more fight experience. He's fought better opponents, and yeah, I see him getting it done in this one. Next fight, Vince Pichelle versus Austin Hubbard. Austin Hubbard, I think, is the underdog in this one. Pichelle's pretty tough. 13-2 record versus a 13-5 record. Pichelle, 8 KO wins, 5 decision wins, 1 KO loss, 1 sub loss. I mean, they don't call him Vince from hell for no reason. The dude's fucking good too. He's decent. He's pretty. I mean, I would say he's an above average fighter, I think. His only submission loss was to Gregor Gillespie, which Gregor Gillespie just wears all of his opponents down. He has tremendous cardio, and that's his go-to. That's his bread and butter. That and his wrestling. He beat him by arm triangle choke in the 2nd round. He beat Roosevelt Roberts. He beat Jim Miller. Yeah, he's fought in some... I mean, Vince Pichelle's fought in some decent opponents. Austin Hubbard's still fairly new. He's only had a few fights in the UFC. So, I think I'm going to rock with... Something's telling me to pick Vince Pichelle, but at the same time, I kind of like Austin Hubbard, man. 5 KO wins, 2 submission wins, 2 submission losses. Yeah, man, he beat Dakota Bush in his last fight. He lost by rear naked choke to Joe Selecki, but we see how good Joe Selecki is, man. Selecki is fucking really, really, really good. He beat Max Roscoff. He lost to Mark Madsen. That was actually a pretty good fight, actually. The Mark Madsen fight was pretty back and forth on that one. Madsen just kept fucking getting takedowns on him. But Hubbard was defending him really well, and I felt like he had more gas in the tank than Madsen at the end of that fight. He beat Kyle Prepolek, lost to Davey Ramos. That was his debut. I remember that one. That was on short notice, and Ramos couldn't even submit him. So, I mean, Yeah, I'm going to rock with Austin Hubbard on this one. I think he can get it done. And that is my pick for that one. Next fight. Parker Porter. Oh no, I'm sorry. Parker Porter versus Chase Sherman. Parker Porter. This is a heavyweight fight. Yeah, man, I can't pick Parker Porter, man. 11-6 record. He was super out of shape, dude. Even for a heavyweight, like, you should come in a little bit in shape. I think Chase Sherman probably gets it done. He's got the reach advantage by 3 inches. He's got the height advantage by 4 inches. I'm not going to talk too much about this one because it's a heavyweight fight. Chase Sherman gets it done. I think he TKOs Parker Porter. I think Parker Porter is going to come out super, super strong in the first round, and he's going to gas out, and Chase Sherman is going to take advantage of that and pick him apart from the outside. That's my guess on that one. Next fight, Clay Guida. Oh man, the Carpenter, dude. Clay Guida versus Mark Madsen. I'm rocking with Mark Madsen. I'm not even going to talk about this one too much either because Mark Madsen's wrestling is super, super good. Clay Guida's got crazy, phenomenal cardio. He's still in great shape for his age. I think he's, what? Let me check. I think he's like 40. He's got to be like 45, maybe. He looks old as fuck. He's only 39. Clay Guida's only 39. That is fucking crazy. It's crazy to think he's only 39 because Clay Guida looks like he's fucking 50. He looks old, but he's in great shape. He's got 15 decision wins, 13 submission wins, 7 KO wins, and he surprises people all the time. His cardio, his gas tank, 36-20 record. He beat Michael Johnson. He just outworked him. He's got better cardio than almost all of his opponents when he comes into the fight. He tends to have kind of like, he keeps his chin kind of in the air. He doesn't really protect his chin. His head movement's all over the place. His hair's all over the place. Yeah, man, I can't pick Clay Guida on this one. I'm picking Mark Madsen. He's 10-0. I think he was an Olympic wrestler as well. Yeah, the Olympic wrestler. 3 submission wins, 3 KO wins. And all I know is that he has really, really good wrestling. And his striking's actually been improving as well. So he's only got 2 fights in the UFC, TKO on his debut, and then he beat Austin Hubbard by UD, which wasn't that impressive because Austin Hubbard was hanging in there with him. He was getting takedowns on him, but Hubbard was just bouncing back up. And if that's the case, if he tries to just get takedowns on Clay Guida could be a really good underdog pick, and he could fucking just keep bouncing back up and wear Mark Madsen out with defensive wrestling, and then end up being offensive wrestling for him. And I could see Clay Guida probably pulling off an upset in this fight, but it's not going to happen. I'm rolling with Mark Madsen. I just don't see it happening in this one. Next fight, the main fucking event, Jared Cannonier, ranked number 3 versus Kelvin Gastelum. I'm rocking with Jared Cannonier. He gets it done. Kelvin Gastelum, super durable. I think he's not the same Kelvin Gastelum that came into the UFC. Something's different. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was from the Israel Adesanya fight, but ever since that fight, he hasn't been the same fighter. He doesn't seem as hungry. Just something's off. And I like Kelvin Gastelum a lot. He's always underdog. Jared Cannonier, 13-5 record versus Kelvin Gastelum, 16-7 record. I think Cannonier is going to have a huge, just his body frame is going to be way bigger. He's got a 6-inch reach advantage. He's 2 inches taller, so he's not super taller than Kelvin Gastelum, but it's crazy to think Cannonier was fighting in heavyweights for a while. This is a really good weight class for him to be in. I think he beats Kelvin Gastelum. I think he picks him apart, honestly. But Gastelum could definitely catch Jared Cannonier on the chin and sleep him easily. He has heavy hands. He's super flat-footed, but he knows how to cut the cage off, and he's good, man. We've seen him versus the Izzy fight. He's the only person that had Izzy kind of fucked up there in a few of the rounds. He has 6 KO wins, 4 submission wins, 2 submission losses. His wrestling defense isn't that good. Yeah, I got to pick Cannonier on this one. He lost to Robert Whitaker by UD. He beat Ian Heinisch. He lost to Jack Hermanson, lost to Darren Till by split decision, lost to Israel Adesanya. His last good fight was to Israel Adesanya. The Ian Heinisch fight wasn't that. I mean, he's on a downward spiral, man. Something's different about him. He's lost 4 of his last 5 fights. Yeah, 3 of them are decisions. One of them's a split decision. One of them's a heel hook from Jack Hermanson, which was, oh my gosh, Jack Hermanson heel hooked him so quick. It wasn't even a fight, dude. It was very disappointing to watch. His last KO was to Michael Bisping. That was back in 2017. Yeah, I just think he's done, man. I honestly think that Kelvin Gastelum only has maybe a few fights left in him. He just doesn't seem like that same hungry lion that he wants to get that belt, and that he wants to be in that cage. And it doesn't seem like he's improved much. It just doesn't. I don't know. Something's different about him. Jared Cannonier is super composed, and I think he gets it done, man. I don't know. I think he's probably going to get a decision win, if anything. Kelvin Gastelum could definitely get a KO win or a split decision. I see this going to decision. I don't see either of them getting knocked out, or maybe going into the 3rd round possibly. They're very cerebral fighters. They know how to, I don't know. They have good defense, and they're both pretty durable. So I see that going to decision, but I see Jared Cannonier winning. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment, and let me know who you think is winning the main event. And I also want to know what you guys think about the Parker Porter and Chase Sherman fight, because it's just kind of a weird matchup. And the Vince Pichelle versus Austin Hubbard, I mean, that's a kind of an awkward matchup as well. But I think Austin Hubbard gets it done. So yeah, I think I'll go pretty good on these picks. I'm pretty sure that I only missed one fight on the last fight card. I didn't do my recap video on the last fight card. I didn't watch all the fights, so I didn't really want to do a recap of only a few fights that I've watched. So, but yeah, it was a so-so card. It wasn't super bad. It wasn't super good. It was kind of in the middle. But yeah, make sure you guys like, subscribe, comment. Yeah, enjoy the fights.